This is the story of twin boys, Avi and Rafi. They were born at Columbia Presbyterian Hospital in New York City on October 20th, 2004. As the fifth inning of Game 7 of the legendary Yankees-Red Sox Championship Series was being played just across the river, they arrived to an elated family after a long and difficult pregnancy for their mom. And they surprised everyone a little bit since most of the family expected two girls, except for Marty, who all along said they would both be boys. Avi, or Avraham Daniel, was the first to be born and was named after Papi Abe, Mike's father's father. Papi Abe was an immigrant to America, a family man with an infectious laugh and robust sense of humor. Avi's middle name is for Daniel Lewin, an amazing American Israeli, an IDF captain and founder of Akamai Technologies, who died heroically fighting back against the 9/11 attackers. About 25 anxious minutes later emerged Rafi, Raphael Yaakov, named after Mike's mother's father, Papi Ralph, a man full of life, great style, and good humor, armed with his immortal catchphrase, "Wherever you go, make sure you take along a salami." And Rafi's middle name is for Kapol, grandfather of Tovit's beloved Bubby, a loving man dedicated to his family, who died in Poland before the war and went without a namesake for 7 decades until Rafi. 2 days after their birth, the little Granovs came home to Tenafly, to the joy of their sister Yaira, who turned 18 months that same day. They lay in their bassinets, sucking their pacifiers and occasionally each other's noses. Their calmness and peacefulness was apparent to all. One of their first visitors was Tovit's cousin Mazal, of blessed memory, who said, "Look at them, they're so calm and quiet." But soon enough, the calmness turned into a non-stop merry-go-round, nursing, changing, calming them down, getting them to sleep all day and all night, 24/7. It was almost mission impossible. At times, Tovit considered asking the FedEx man to hold a baby when he came to the door, just so she could have a short break. Months went by, and the Granov brothers reached the respectable age of 3. It was then when they began to get a bit more rambunctious and to find their own voices and characters. Avi, for example, while having mastered the art of walking, for a year refused to set a foot down when outside the house. Whether the driveway, parking lot, or even the backyard, if there was a sky overhead, Avi insisted on being carried. Rafi, however, was a man on a mission. He wanted answers to 165,000 random questions that he would ask his dad day and night. What was the first word ever spoken? What's the most number of planes to land at Newark in a day? One evening, Rafi climbed onto the dining room table and stood right in the middle. Mike commanded him to get down from the table right now. Nonplussed and not impressed, Rafi's nary missing a beat, replying, "Daddy, you get down from the table right now." The boys kept developing their skills and quickly became phenomenal drivers of their electric toy car, each taking turns driving forward and reverse, covering hundreds of miles around the driveway and backyard of their Tenafly home. It was also at the age of 3 that they began to travel extensively, including trips to Toronto, to Miami for Thanksgiving, to Utah to ski, and more. During these trips, they discovered a new interest, aviation, but we'll get to that later. The Granov brothers grew up and grew closer. They are a team, and when a third brother entered the fray with the birth of Elon, they would closely cooperate in taking care of their new charge, always helping out whenever they could, never sparing a compliment. The boys continued to grow. A friend, impressed with Rafi's ingenuity, proclaimed, "This kid is going places." Knowing him best, Avi retorted quickly,
"Yeah, like the jail."
Okay, maybe that's not the most accurate example of their kinship. Time flew by, and the boys kept shaping their unique personalities and developing their interests. Politics, sports, exploring. In time, Rafi started thinking like a small businessman and even dressed like one for Purim. "I don't understand why I can't forego school and do real stuff," he complained. And Avi, well, he's a walking encyclopedia, especially when it comes to anything to do with cars. "Dad, there's a Chrysler 300C that's a 6.4-liter Hemi V8 with 354 horsepower. And with such sharp personalities, the boys realized that together, they are more than just twin brothers. Together, along with Elon, they're the Granov brothers. Now, what does it mean being the Granoff brothers? Here's an example. When Mike filled out a postcard on an LL flight suggesting they could learn how to run an airline from his twin 10-year-olds, the CEO of LL invited them for a meeting. You can imagine what happened. The boys came armed with a detailed PowerPoint presentation on the advantages of the 787 Dreamliner, improvements to the frequent flyer program, and more. And so today, the boys turn 13. Although it seems they have accumulated experiences fitting grown men, their journey has just begun. And having such a promising start, who knows what the future holds? Mazel tov, Avi and Rafi.